Greetings and welcome to Ealdormere at Home, the web series dedicated to keeping the Northfolk connected.
In today's episode, we'll talk about maps, go on a hike, hear a song, see His Excellency Alexander's photography kit, talk with the Trillium Herald, and more.
War of the Trillium was a rousing success. Several rounds of Jeopardy were played, people filmed themselves doing various armored challenges, and people took part in both a concert and a bardic circle. A small virtual court was also held, and a recording has been put up on the Kingdom YouTube channel.
Henry Foster has created a new interactive map of the kingdom called the Kingdom of Ealdormere Group Locator Map. If you search on the map by modern locations, the map will return the shire, canton, and/or barony serving that location with links to the group webpage and seneschal emails.
The second Portrait Painters' Night was held on July 10th, overseen by Her Excellency Lucia and the Honourable Lady Elizabeth. This month's sitter was Her Excellency Skye, and it was another successful night, with participants from both in and out of the kingdom.
On July 13th, His Excellency Daffod hosted an Ask the Crucibles roundtable. This was only 2 days ago, and hopefully we'll have a story for you about how it went in the next episode.
The following day, July 14th, Her Excellency Lucia held a cooking class called Oh Those Beans, and we are also hopeful to have more information next episode.
Time now for Wolves of the Breed, where we talk to one of your fellow Ealdormerians.
We go now to our royal correspondent, Her Majesty Isabel, who talked to the Trillium Herald, Duchess Rylyn, about heraldry in Ealdormere.
So, today we are talking with Duchess Rylyn, our Trillium Herald. Thank you for joining us today, Duchess Rylyn.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm happy to be here. So you'd like me to introduce myself. So my name is Duchess Rylyn Buchanan. I am a mistress of the Pelican as well as a duchess. My husband and I, Edward the Red, we have sat the Trillium throne 3 times as king and queen and once as prince and princess. And I'm currently serving as in the role of Trillium Herald. I've been a member of the society for 30 years now. And I'm super happy to be back on Privy Council in a completely different role than I had originally sat as a seneschal. So
you're going to talk to us about what the Trillium Herald does. So what is it you do?
Okay, so what does the Trillium Herald do? So we are the voice of the crown. So the most visible part of the Trillium Herald's job is heralding court for their majesties. We do other things behind the scenes. We are the head of the College of Heralds here in Ealdormere, and the college can be kind of divided into sort of 3 major parts. Court and field heraldry, which is the flashy stuff. We have book heraldry, which is like names and devices and badges. And then we have recently sort of added a diversity component to it, which will include signed court, so that people that have hearing issues can more easily understand court. And also I have a deputy that is working on trying to make things like our award recommendation forms a little bit more accessible and things of that nature. So not just silent heraldry, but a little bit expanded from that. The Trillium Herald is a greater officer, so we sit on Privy Council and we advise their majesties on all sorts of things, from law changes to the pandemic reopening proposals to budgeting to creating new branches and things of that nature. And we report to our society superior, which is the Laurel Sovereign of Arms.
Can you tell us a little bit about the College of Heralds?
College of Heralds differs from Trillium Herald to Trillium Herald to Trillium Herald. We set it up all a little bit different, but in general, you have the Trillium Herald, and then you have different heralds that all are in charge of different aspects of what I just described, because really, you're right, it's way too much for one person to do it alone, so we have deputies to help with that. So I have, as I said, we've got a new a diversity herald, so that's a new position for us. Some of the other ones you'll see include the submissions process and display and things of that nature. All of the heralds get titles, which is, I think, different than pretty much everybody else. So all of our positions hold different titles. So I'm Trillium Herald. The person that is in charge of education is currently Buchanon Herald, that's Baron Percival. We have Green Mantle Herald by currently being held by Lord Matthias. He's in charge of submissions, and various down they have deputies and other things. But the big difference, it's pretty much set up like a lot of other offices, except we give our people heraldic titles because shockingly we're heralds. So.
Titles are so much fun though.
I know!
So, where can more people learn more about heraldry in Ealdormere?
So probably the easiest place to do is to reach out to myself or one of the other heralds that you might recognize from either being in court or at a submissions table, and reach out to them and ask them, because there are so many very different aspects of heraldry. That is the easiest way to start. And then once we get to know you and get to understand what your specific interest is, and we'll figure out what your specialty is. I've started a training program where we're actually doing like a mentoring program. So if you come to me and you say, hey, I want to be a herald, I will find somebody with similar interests to you that's relatively local to you, and you guys can hook up, and then you can ask all the questions you want of that mentor. Ask them, and they'll guide you through the process of where to get resources and how to do things, and maybe even help you get your foot in the door to maybe do that first court for a baron or baroness, or maybe do some field heraldry, and to open some doors so that you can really get into it. Yeah.
I'm learning a lot about heraldry and how it all affects you.
Good.
Is there anything else that you want to kind of add that hasn't been covered?
Just please, if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to your local herald. And if you don't know who that is, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to take questions either at the heraldic address, which is trilliumherald@gmail.com, real simple. Or, I often post to the I Live in the Kingdom of Ealdormere under Rylyn Buchanan. So go ahead and instant message me. I'm more than happy to do that. Questions concerned, I may take you to someplace else. You want to know where your device or badge is, reach out to your local herald, the one that submitted it, or myself, or Green Mantle. We'll be more than happy to help. We're thrilled to share our little kind of geekdom with the rest of the bigger geekdom.
Well, thank you so very, very much for agreeing to do this. And I know I've learned a lot more about what you do, and I'm sure everyone has as well. So thank you so very much, Your Grace.
Excellent. Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Be safe, everyone.
Thank you, Your Majesty, Your Grace.
Rylyn had a lot more to say about heraldry, and we'll be posting the complete interview sometime next week. We go now to Rising Waters for a special missive from Her Excellency Skye.
Greetings, Rising Waters, and friends of Rising Waters in the Kingdom of Ealdormere. Welcome to our garden. Oh, I say welcome to our garden, but really isn't our community a garden? A garden that needs tending, caring for, and in return, we receive fruits, vegetables, and beauty, of course. And I'd like to thank all of you who have been tending our garden in the Barony of Rising Waters over the last many months. And I'd like to urge you to continue in that caretaking, as I will continue in my own caretaking of our wonderful community in the Barony, in the fantastic Kingdom of Ealdormere. Thank you, everybody, for everything that you've been doing. I hope that you take care of yourselves. Enjoy the summer as much as you can. I know we're planning to do Pensick in our backyard this year. That should be fun. And I hope that you'll join me virtually in taking care of our garden. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Joining us now is Her Excellency Lucia on our first segment on Officers of Ealdormere to talk about what the Lord Clerk Register office is all about.
Hello, Ealdormere. It is I, Baroness Lucia, your Privy Council Lord Clerk Register. That is, I am in charge of the Kingdom website. You may have noticed me on Zoom setting up meetings for people and then meeting with people to run them. But there's more to my job usually than just running Zoom meetings. So I'm going to share my screen with you. So I am responsible for generating content and uploading photos and things to ealdormere.ca. I'm also responsible for making sure that our domain gets renewed and that we pay any associated costs with the ealdormere.ca that come up. It is a pretty straightforward website. It is meant to be a gateway for new people and people who've been in society for a long time to find out what is going on. I think it does a pretty good job of doing that. It is run by Weebly, which is a pretty straightforward what you see, what you get interface. So if you don't know how to code HTML or Java, it's not going to stop you from doing the job. I communicate with societies, webminister, and webministers from around the known world using Slack. I don't know how that started, but this is what they like to do, and we like to share a lot of recipes and then some web help tips. I also run, if I can get there, the email Dodo mailing server that we have. The Kingdom has it as a replacement to Yahoo Groups, which folded. Before anybody panics, there are no files here. It is just email forwarding. So I can add you to a group, but I can't see what your group is saying unless I'm subscribed to it. And I get enough email as it is. So there's no files, just email addresses. I monitor the Kingdom email group. There's a lot of stuff going on. I probably have, I don't know, maybe 20 emails a week to deal with, but a lot of it is pretty urgent, or there's a mistake on the website, we need to get that down, or Privy Council has an event bid to discuss, or a law change to discuss, or right now a lot of variances to discuss. I hope that didn't frighten you, and if you want to help me, I always need artwork. I love more content. I'd really like some punchy copy for the websites, especially for the fighting one. But otherwise, it's a pretty cool job. And if you want to be the next Clerk Register, absolutely email me any questions at ealdormereweb@gmail.com. It's on the website. You should be able to find me there. I hope I haven't frightened anyone away from volunteering with Privy Council. It is awfully nice to know what's going on in the kingdom and know that you're making a difference to help it run. So I hope you enjoyed this video.
Speaking of photos by Alex, this time for our Artisan Spotlight, we're going to take a look at His Excellency Alexander Gladstone and his photography.
Alexander Gladstone has been taking photographs in the SCA for 20 years. He was already a photographer before joining the SCA, finding the group when his local recreation center closed their archery program. He attended a fight practice and took his very first SCA photos there. His very first photo was of His Excellency Tyne, who is sorely missed. When he returned to the next practice, Alex gave print copies of these photos to members of the group, who, in return, draped him in loner armor. Alex never looked back. When taking photographs at an SCA event, Alex brings his professional kit with him. He does this because he considers every photo taken of his friends to be just as important as any he takes professionally. His full pack includes a tripod, different lenses, including a sports lens, 2 full pro-level digital single-lens reflex cameras, SLRs, 2 on-camera flashes, extra batteries, extra memory cards, as well as backup equipment for emergencies or teaching opportunities. He also tends to pack a first aid kit, snacks, a multi-tool, and duct tape. He says, You never know what might be handy at an event. Alex has been honored to discover that his camera has given him the equivalent of a media pass within the SCA, and he is often able to go behind the scenes to capture events from unique angles. When photographing arts and science displays, Alex uses a CSI-style ruler or a dime to add scale when taking close-up photos. He often consults with judges so they can guide him to displays he absolutely needs to capture, though he generally tries to take a photo of every exhibit he can. For martial activities, Alex uses his sports lens and is able to anticipate when a good shot is coming up due to his own experiences in those activities. Occasionally, he is asked by royalty or event stewards to set up a studio backdrop and lighting to take posed portraits. Due to needing a 15 by 15 foot space to set up his equipment, the on-site studio is a rare occurrence. Alex is proud and humbled to have been able to capture memories at courts, elevations, vigils, the taking on of dependents, as well as SCA weddings and memorial services.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go on a pilgrimage? Lord Bjorn Járnason did. Here's Evan once again to tell us about it.
Bjorn Járnason is working on a project to recreate the experience of walking from Europe to Fortress Acre in the historic Kingdom of Ealdormere. Deeply inspired by Dame Helen's pilgrimage project, he has taken on this task due to his deep interest in learning about the daily life of people during the Middle Ages. During the period of Bjorn's persona, a large part of life of Europeans would have revolved around the Crusades, which would have involved a large amount of traveling. Bjorn hopes to gain insight into the life of his persona by walking 150 kilometers in as short a time frame as possible, while in as close to period gear as he can. Researching what his persona would have worn on a long trek, Bjorn settled on his current kit, as shown here. Starting with a linen undershirt and berets, Bjorn dons either knee-high athletic socks or wool hose, and either sneakers or leather shoes, depending on the weather. Next comes a thigh-length wool jerkin, his chain hauberk, monk's robes, cloak, coif, and hat. In his bags he carries water, his rations, a journal, and eating utensils. Depending on the danger of the area he marches through, he may travel with his staff at the ready, while normally it, along with the rest of his armor, stays packed on his mule. In total, the kit weighs about 60 pounds, distributed across his shoulders and waist. To date, Bjorn has completed just shy of 50 kilometers of his goal in a little under 2 weeks. In doing so, he has walked through a pair of shoes, enjoyed the company of many blisters, and has gone through several liters of water a day in order to stay on top of hydration. Bjorn notes that aside from the learning experience this project has so far provided, it has also been excellent endurance training, and hopes it will have a positive impact on his fighting abilities once regular Kingdom events can resume. He looks forward to reaching the 150-kilometer goal and is already contemplating his next steps.
Thank you, Bjorn, for sharing that with us. Looking ahead now to upcoming events, Greyfell's Cloth of Guilt is fast approaching and begins July 17th at 7 p.m. Once again, let's go to Greyfell's for more information.
Does this ever happen to you? Do you need help decluttering your stash? Don't worry. We can help you solve that from the comfort of your own home. No sleep required. The Stronghold of Greyfells has an event just for you. It's easy. 3 simple steps. Step 1, go to Facebook. Step 2, find the event page for Cloth of Guilt 2020 Stash Busters. Step 3, register. You got it. For more information, contact Devessa or Christina at scagreyfells.com.
A reminder that the Kingdom of Atwyll is hosting the Virtual Martial Arts Collegium on July 18th. The event will be held on Zoom, and people are invited to teach, learn, and discuss everything related to fighting, fencing, archery, thrown weapons, and equestrian.
Now, let's take a moment to talk about sausage.
Renaissance dietitians believed that sausages were coarse foods fit only for peasants, but that is absolutely not true. Join me on July 20th for a fascinating look at the world of sausages. We'll start in ancient Greece and Rome, move across the known world into Byzantium, North Africa, the far north, and even into the New World. We'll explore materials, techniques, and spices. I look forward to seeing you then. Once again, July 20th, Sausages with Siglinde.
As mentioned last episode, Pennsic in My Backyard will be running from July 24th to August 9th. People are encouraged to set up their tents and post pictures of their own private Pennsic wars to social media using the following hashtags. Pennsic University will be hosted on YouTube, and you can find the links in the video description.
Now, here's Their Excellencies Skye and Ahibilin to talk about the Peerage Q&A Roundtable to be held on July 27th.
Hi, my name. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ahibilin?
I'm okay. So I'm going to introduce myself. I know you know who I am, but some people watching this may not. My name is Ahibilin Canary fra Skye, and I am putting together a Peerage Roundtable. And Mistress Skye, except I don't think she uses mistress, do you?
I use Magistra.
Magistra Skye is going to be one of our panel members. So what is this Peerage Roundtable about?
Well, there is a ton of interest right now in learning more about what it means to be a peer, what different people's paths are to becoming recognized as a peer, and like more than beyond the nitty gritty of like how do you throw the perfect wrap shot or sew the perfect hand sewn piece of garb, but all the other pieces that kind of are beyond those nitty gritty detail pieces of information. Like what are the PLQs and what does it mean when someone says you're doing a really good job and people are watching you? Like that's really freaky. And I think in an effort to be more transparent and have more openness with folks who are just generally interested in what it means to be a peer, this roundtable provides that opportunity for anyone to ask questions and find out more information about what it means.
Okay, so this roundtable is not really for other peers, it's for people who are interested in peers. Basically, it's for anybody who has any questions about the peerages in general.
Yeah, whether you've been in the SCA forever and know lots of peers, but maybe the the peerage piece of it is a little bit of a mystery, or maybe you're brand new and you've heard of so and so. Oh, they're a knight, but what does that actually mean in the modern Middle Ages that we have in our SCA?
So when is this roundtable?
Well, this exciting event is on Monday, July the 27th at 7 p.m. And the Zoom coordinates are already posted on the Kingdom calendar. And there will be a Facebook event page happening as well in the very near future. And I know I'll be sharing it with the Barony of Rising Waters, but I know we're also sharing it with the other baronies as well and the shires, so that as many people as who are interested in this sort of thing can participate. Now, we're not recording this session because we want folks who are not as comfortable in having their video image recorded. We want them to feel comfortable to come out and still join in that discussion.
Yeah, so as a result, if you can't come on the day, we will, they will not have another place you can watch the video. However, we are recording questions and responses. And we're going to post those. We're not exactly sure where they're going to be posted yet, but they will be posted.
So when you say posting questions and responses, do you mean the transcript?
Not exactly the transcript, because we could get the same question several times, or some of the questions might be a redirection question. So if we get a question that is, so how do you throw the best wrap shot? We're going to redirect that question because that's super specific, and maybe that's a one-on-one conversation you want to have with a knight. So those kind of questions we're not going to record. It's just going to be frequently asked questions, questions that seem to have a lot of interest. We're going to post those. And like I said, we're not sure yet. We're probably going to post them to the Facebook Kingdom page, or maybe Their Majesties will have another idea.
Well, I think that this is a great idea, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. I think it'll be really exciting. And we're also going to allow people to ask questions if they have questions they want to ask before, because they may take a little bit of thought on our part. Because despite the fact that we might be peers, sometimes thinking on our feet is not our best feature.
Yeah, and we're all experiencing the same stress right now in the pandemic and quarantine and
Yes.
yeah.
And cats playing in the background.
It's that time.
It is. Oh, I see. Okay, well, thank you, Skye, for doing this with me, and I look forward to July 27th at 7 p.m.
Me too. I hope to see everybody else there too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
On August 1st, Lady Maud d'Orléans will be hosting Burning Questions with Maud, a discussion about a variety of equality, diversity, and inclusivity topics.
At their court at War of the Trillium, their Majesties issued 2 heraldic challenges. The first is a mask challenge, born out of the current necessity of wearing face masks in public. Their Majesties ask that you take a photo of yourself in garb with a face mask decorated with appropriate heraldry and send it to His Excellency Alex with Ealdormere Heraldry Mask as the subject line. Please include a copy of the standard social media permission statement in your email. The deadline is August 8th.
The second is the Ealdormere Light Cavalry Barding Project for the children of the kingdom, as well as those who are still young at heart while supplies last. Any child that is interested can have their parents write their Majesties to request a hobby horse. Their Majesties will then mail out a hobby horse head, which you will need to stuff and mount on a stick. The challenge is to then create heraldic barding for your mount. If you have any questions about either challenge, you can contact the Stave Herald, His Excellency Percival.
To keep up to date on upcoming events, make sure you check out the Kingdom calendar on the Kingdom website.
If you would like to appear as a guest on a future episode, or have a video you'd like to submit for possible inclusion, check out our submission process. We hope to hear from you soon.
That's a wrap for this episode. Take a look at the video description for links relating to this episode's stories.
Until next time, stay safe, Ealdormere. We'll see you at home.